What's going on YouTube? OCD for EDC here, and what I got for your face balls today is this little guy. This happens to be the Ohlone Knifes Shark, and it's a very interesting little knife, one that I've been carrying quite a bit in preparation for this review. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. So first up, we're going to do a few size comparisons. Here it is up against the Para 3 Lightweight. So as you can see, the Shark is significantly smaller than the Para 3 Lightweight. Here it is up against the Hogue Deca. Again, quite a bit smaller than that. Actually, I got big knives sitting here. Anyway, there it is up against the Hogue RSK. And just because it's beautiful, we'll throw it up against the St. Nick's Mannix 2. So, you can see we're talking about a much smaller knife than all of those. So, what is this? This is Ohlone Knives. This comes from a gentleman named Derek Costa. Really cool guy. I've talked to him a handful of times and kind of hit it off right from the get-go. And although we live many states away, just a really nice guy, and I really enjoyed talking with him. So, Derek, thanks a lot. And I'm really digging your work here. So this is an older design by Derek Costa. For those that don't know, Derek did the Ohlone Knives Goat, and I actually do have one of those. I don't have it handy here to show, but if you look back in my videos, you'll see multiple different videos on the Goat because I did a bunch of work to it, and I did a review on the knife, but also did several different videos showing some mod work. Dimensions on this thing. It's relatively small, but so what we're looking at here is an overall length of 6.73 inches. You've got a handle length of 3.86 and a blade length of 2.87. So no issues there if you got a 3-inch blade law. This thing's definitely going to be legal in a lot of areas. Handle thickness is just under a half of an inch at 0.49. Blade stock thickness is 3.5 millimeter or 134 thousandths. Behind the edge thickness is very consistent, right at 23 thousandths. So pretty standard really for a production EDC style knife. And we'll get into why. I mean, this one could have been ground a little more aggressive, but it's actually a pretty stout little knife. What do I do with my scale? Let's check out the weight on this thing. There we go. So 2.79 ounces for 2.87, almost 2.9 inches of blade. So it falls right in that ounce and inch category that people talk about. Materials here. So this is a titanium frame lock flipper. It is rocking M390 blade steel. It does have a hardened steel insert. It is riding on bearings. And it's just a really well-made little knife. This particular knife was made by Rike, R-I-K-E knives. You guys, I don't know how many people, that's not one of the most popular brands. But they're an OEM out of China. Doing some really interesting work. Most of their knives are pretty flashy and pretty fancy. They kind of really like to flex a little bit on their machining. They do some pretty wild stuff. So if you're not familiar with Rike knives, go and check them out. They have some really cool, interesting designs that are Andre de Villiers stuff. The alien models, there's some pretty wild stuff. So as far as Rike knives are concerned, this one is actually very mild and tame in their out of most of their designs. You can see here we do have a milled titanium pocket clip. It does function extremely well, and we do have a backspacer that runs about a third of the length of the knife. You do have this flat area here, and then there's kind of a gear pattern, and it runs down over the base of it as well. It sits perfectly flush with the scales, so although it maybe offers a little bit of traction, just because the meat of your hand might squeeze into there, I guess, it doesn't, it's not aggressive in any way. Flipper tab on this thing, this is called the Shark, so the flipper tab's kind of like a shark fin. And you do have a little bit of jimping right up here on the spine of the blade, as well as a little bit right here on the pocket clip, which actually works out pretty well, give you a little bit of traction when you're pulling it out of the pocket. This knife is very, very small in the pocket. Like I said, it's, thickness is right at just under 1/2 of an inch, but you can also see that the scales are contoured. So not only is this thing, pretty comfortable in hand, the contouring offers a really nice positive grip on this thing, and it really just works well. I mean, obviously this is like a 3-finger knife for me, but it does work well. Action on it's good. Really, it's just a really nice little EDC knife. The anodizing on this thing's very, very cool. It's different than your other blurple colors, where this is more like a 2-step process, where it's a blue with purple iridescent laid over top. I've actually, took me a little while to figure out how they did this, but I did get it done. It's kind of an interesting kind of step-by-step process to make that work out just this way. So you can see down in the lower portions here where they were unable to prep it after the first color, because you have to do one step and then you have to prep the knife again and then do the second step. Anyway, it's a little bit of a drawn out process, but it does work and it's pretty cool. One of the things that I really, really like about this knife is the relief cut on the lock bar is internal. That is a really, really nice feature that I really, really enjoy. One, it just looks nicer on the outside of the knife, but 2, it's functional in the aspect that you're not getting your pants caught on that. Most of the time your pocket clip is on the lock bar side, and if that relief cut were on the outside of the knife here, it just hangs up on your pocket when you're trying to get the thing in your pocket. It's just not good. So having an internal lock bar relief cut, that's a really, really nice little addition there. Otherwise, you do have a lanyard hole back here on the back, and that's about it. It's pretty straightforward. We're going to jump into it here. We'll pull this thing apart real quick and see what we're working with. I'm pretty sure, it is a T8 on the pivot screw, not tooled on the show side. So hopefully that's a D-shaped pivot, and that looks like it's T6 on the pocket clip. And body screw, yes it is. Sorry if you guys can hear my dog snoring over there. Our boxer, when she sleeps, she snores hard. So there you go. There's the inside. You can see there's really no weight relieving of any kind. You can see that hardened steel insert with a ceramic detent ball. You do have a steel washer there to keep the bearings off the titanium. And then your back spacer with an alignment pin. Everything's just falling apart here. And there's your pocket clip. So nicely done. You've got a stop pin at the front here. You can see I've been carrying this thing. It's quite dirty. So let me clean that off real quick. You can see it is riding on ceramic bearings. So I'm just wiping this junk off the blade here. Okay. So if you guys are interested in this knife, Derek does have these available. To my knowledge, the only place you can purchase them is on his website at OhloneKnives.com. I'll put a link up in the description. This knife sells for $149. And, for premium materials, it's full titanium, M390 blade steel, an American designer. He lives out in California, and it's a cool knife. He has them in multiple different colors. I think, and I don't know this 100%, but I'm pretty sure that the models that he, when they're gone kind of an affair. He does have some left right at the moment, but when they're sold out, I don't think there are any more of these. So if this is something you're interested in or you like this design, go check out OhloneKnives.com. And you can see the different colors he has. I know he has like a gunmetal gray and this blurple color, which I think is really cool. Just something different, Reich does a really, really good job with their anodizing. So that's pretty cool. So I'm just throwing down a little KPL. And you can see the bearing pockets milled out in the blade, along with the detent hole right there. You can see the detent track. Quality and fit and finish on this knife is really good. You know, the lockup's great, action's good. All that is just really well done. So no issues there at all. Sorry about that. My dog's... Now we got another dog barking. So hopefully I can get this done really quick before the dogs go too crazy and ruin this. Someone just pulled in my driveway is what's going on here. So let me get this back together real quick. Sorry about all the noise, guys. Like I said, my dogs are going crazy over there. Hopefully we can get through this, because I really don't want to start over. All right. Get this in. There you go. See the action. Zero blade play. It's probably a little bit too tight. Blade is centered. Nice. So there you go, guys. The Ohlone Knifes Shark. Go check out Derek Costa over on OhloneKnives.com and pick up a shark for yourself. You get quite a bit of knife here. Quite a nice piece for $150. Thanks a lot and have a great day.